The Honorable Kathleen Straus, who I've known forever, is president of the Michigan State Board of Education. She has dedicated her career to improving public education and community services in Michigan. Prior to serving on the State Board, Mrs. Straus was president of the Center for Creative Studies, a nationally recognized arts education institution in Detroit. She also has worked for the Michigan Association of School Boards and the Michigan Senate Education Committee.
I'm delighted to be here. Greatly appreciate the opportunity to appear before you and discuss flexibility on the most recent version of the Elementary and Secondary School Act, or the No Child Left Behind Act. And I'm particularly pleased and honored to be here with Chairman Kildee in the position he's in, because as he said, we go back a long way to when he was in the State Senate in Michigan, and I was a staff director for the Senate Education Committee at that time. So we're very proud to have you in your position and very proud of you. And I'm privileged to be here today to represent not only the state of Michigan as president of the State Board, which in Michigan is an elected statewide body, bipartisan, but I'm also speaking on behalf of the National Association of State Boards of Education and my colleagues who serve on state boards throughout the country. I want to make it clear that Michigan State Board of Education, and indeed all the state boards across the country, embrace the philosophy and the goals of the No Child Left Behind Act. It is our belief that the fundamental aspects of the law are positive and well-intentioned. As state education leaders, we have championed the theory for many years that all children can learn. But it's also our belief of state boards generally, and in particular the entire State Board of Michigan, all 8 members, Republicans and Democrats alike, that modifications to NCLB are necessary to reach these goals. In the initial phases of implementation, there was no aspect of the law that was more welcome than flexibility, nor more touted, I might add. We were soon to learn, however, that the flexibility existed more in theory than in application. What we inherently knew as state board members at the state level and throughout the country was that we have 50 separate, distinct state education systems. A one-size-fits-all approach is difficult, if not impossible, to apply throughout the country. Speaking from personal experience, this became painfully clear as we in Michigan parsed through the law page by page, all those many, many pages, and provision by provision, and tried to make it fit into the academic frameworks, assessment schedule, and the accountability system that we had previously and so successfully established in Michigan. We came to the conclusion that while we are meeting the spirit of the law, we clearly needed more flexibility to help our good faith efforts in meeting the letter of the law. As a result, I'm here today to reaffirm the NASB recommendation, the National Association of State Boards of Education recommendation, that we need to move from a law of absolutes to one that incorporates the following principles. One, provide adaptation and state assessment requirements, particularly for testing of special needs students, such as students with disabilities and limited English proficient students. 2, to permit the use of growth model measures in all states. 3, to provide accommodations in teacher qualifications, deferring to well-established state licensure procedures, recognizing in particular the challenges of staffing in rural areas and high-needs subjects. 4th, to recognize the enhanced role of states in education leadership, technical assistance, and school improvement, with a solid, consistent federal investment for state capacity that reflects the state-federal partnership in improving low-performing schools. All the states are providing a great deal of technical assistance, but need capacity to do so. And 5th, promote fair, consistent, and equal treatment in all dealings, negotiations, and approvals between state and federal officials, supplemented by peer review, as Rick just said, consisting of accomplished, credentialed, well-trained professionals knowledgeable in state and federal education policy and law. And as you know, these issues surrounding ESEA reauthorization are of such concern to state educational leaders that NASB, the National Governors Association, and the Council of Chief State School Officers included these themes, among others, in a recently proposed set of joint reauthorization recommendations that were submitted to Congress. Perhaps the most important suggestion I could make today on behalf of state policymakers is to give states that have served as the laboratories of innovation and reform the latitude to address their unique circumstances. States should be extended the freedom to develop and implement policies that meet their specific needs while remaining within the spirit and letter of the law. Admittedly, some areas have been addressed, but clearly many more aspects need attention and collaboratively developed resolutions. In Michigan's accountability workbook submissions, for example, to the Department of Education that serve as our current day annual plans, we have asked for such latitude. But I regret to say that a fair amount of what we have thoughtfully compiled and presented has been rejected, often after months of delay and sometimes having been accompanied in the first and subsequent instances by what we thought were encouraging commentaries of acceptance. Unfortunately, our experience in Michigan has not been unique. As a state that is generally recognized as a national leader in education and is one of some 18 states that have received full approval for our assessment system, what we specifically request, much of what Dr. Millman just said, and you have our whole statement, but I'll be glad to answer any questions you have. So thank you very much for this opportunity.